Hello, welcome to the land of Kakiak. My name is Laurel and I homeschool my 3 boys at home using the Robinson curriculum as the base of our education. We're going to continue the library tour, kind of show you what's on the shelves. I'm going to start on my math shelf today. Okay, so for me, math, I would say, has been the subject that has given me the most pause as the chief learning officer. I've had to do the most thinking and like rethinking, doubting myself over math resources. Because we all want to give our children the best, So I've got like quite a little sampling here to show you. Okay, so the first thing I have is the Ray's arithmetic set. So I don't think this is everything, because I think Ray's actually goes up, I think it might go even up into calculus. I know that this is just the parent teacher book, and then it has 7 books that it comes with, and it goes from the primary arithmetic up to practical arithmetic. This one is test examples. So there's a book for that. The tests. Aren't they pretty books though? Look. Like, I just aesthetically enjoy these. And then the key to Ray's new higher arithmetic. There's a key here. I love how just straightforward and like no fluff and stuff. I like this. For me personally. Here is the key to Ray's new arithmetics. Primary, intellectual, and practical. So I think this covers the key for 2 of those books. So as far as actual textbooks for the kids would use, there's these 4. We use this one, Ray's new primary arithmetic so far. I feel like I ended up like really mixing this stuff up with like my own worksheets, and I've made videos about those before. Maybe I'll link one down below. I did get the workbooks from Mott Media. I think it's from Mott Media. I'll find those and link them down below for you too. That went with this that he worked through. And looking back, what I would have done differently, I think I just started it a little too early. I started him on this in 1st grade, and I probably could have waited till 2nd grade. I feel like the drawback to these is that it's a reading comprehension. So, I mean, it's perfectly fine. Like, sometimes I feel like the math, it's that they would need the reading kind of comprehension to read the word problems. The math is simpler than the reading as far as like what I had already taught my student. So if this is good if you're like on a more, I want to say delayed, because who says like when exactly you're supposed to start. But if you are kind of like I switched over to Robinson curriculum that's where I was introduced to Ray's arithmetic, is through the Robinson curriculum, because they have all the printables. And I believe they have more than what the hard copy books, because when I looked at their printables, it seemed like that there was more levels than what I could buy with hard copy. But I started out with a Becca with William, and so we had done like the kindergarten program through Becca, and then I tried to go into this for like 1st grade when I switched over to RC, and yeah, it was like this required. It was just, I could just tell, and he's kind of young. He's kind of young for his grade, so. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is more of a 2nd grade, 3rd grade, like reading level, like comprehension, but simpler math. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it accelerates pretty fast. It goes from like adding to like multiplication, like really quickly or a few amount of lessons. So that was also kind of like, it's fine, but if you were going to use this, just be prepared that it's not like you need to do one lesson a day here. I would try to take more of a mastery approach to this book, and I wouldn't even try to worry about doing an entire lesson in a day, because the lessons sometimes, like, they have these problems here, but some of them would have basically like 3 problems within one, so it may look like 9, but it's really 27 problems, you know what I mean? So I would split that up. I would maybe do one lesson like a week, even, maybe, I don't know. So this, I do like them. I'm gonna keep them because I've actually like kind of been daydreaming about doing going through these books myself, just, you know, as an adult, and refreshing. I was like, well, this is just they're just so compact, and like, I think by this point in my life, I understand numbers better than I did back when I was in grade school, middle school, even high school. And so I feel like I could probably go through this myself, just to refresh myself on my math and get ahead of my kids. But the kids, I have just found needed or benefited more from more hands-on math, which is something I've been talking about recently. So, which Abeka didn't really give them hands-on math. Everything is just abstracted, 2-dimensional, flat, on paper. I think that programs that take into account more like brain science and developmental stages, I think kids do benefit from that kind of hands-on, concrete, not going straight to like figures and just things on paper, if that makes sense. So I do have these though, and I think that once your kid gets good number sense, that they could probably do these just fine. And obviously people use these for a long time, and there are workbooks to go. I don't know if it goes for all of them, but Mom Media has workbooks that can go with them, which are helpful. But you also, if your kid, you know, a second grade or so, can just get like a notebook and just assign them to certain ones in the notebook, then I think that's totally the way to go. I don't think you have to spend the extra money on the workbooks, really. So I have Mammoth Math. I just picked this up on Amazon at some point. I have the Mammoth Science one too. It's a DK book. What does it say on the back? It says, what is a prime number? How do you measure area? Why does 0 matter? Find out in this unconventional and highly original guide to math. So there's this mammoth, and he has little adventures. So this one's talking about place value. Anyways, the kids, I just have this. I don't teach math from it. This is something that I have just so the kids will just get it down. Here's sequences. And they just like to look at it. And every once in a while I'll be like, what are you looking at? Let me read, and I'll read the boxes to them. There's a maze. Just a book that's enjoyable, that they can grab for leisure and enjoy. Here's circles. A circle is a special kind of 2-dimensional shape because it has no vertices, which means corners, or angles at all. So this is here for casual reading and just enjoyment in the library. Here's this set. What's it called? Murderous Maths. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books, a set of 10 books, and they're called Awesome Arithmetrics, Desperate Measures, Do You Feel Lucky, Easy Questions, Evil Answers, Guaranteed to Mash Your Mind, Guaranteed to Bend Your Brain, The Key to the Universe, The Perfect Sausage, The Phantom X, and Savage Shapes. It says 100% horrible on it. Look at this picture of this guy. Gross. I was on a kick for a while. I was looking for like living books, like math living books, just things that, you know, weren't textbooks that I could maybe just put on their reading list, like inject here and there. And so I had asked the RC Facebook group a while back. I think I asked something about math books, or maybe somebody else did. I don't know. I just remember like reading that another parent recommended these. So Murderous Maths, Awesome Arithmetics. Says, can you beat Professor Fiendish's foul formula? Why does nothing sometimes mean something? What can stop a hairy green spot epidemic? All the tricks, tips, and shortcuts about arithmetic they don't teach you in school. Gross. I feel like this is obviously geared towards boys, but my boys love all things gross. So the contents are: what are the essentials of arithmetrix? Back to the sandpit, awful addition, some sneaky signs, sickly subtraction, a cracking code, the terrible tables, maddening multiplication, some more sneaky signs, diabolical division, small trousers, and the golden promise, when nothing means something, rough sums and going mental, the sneakiest signs, the fiendish formula, oh no look. So, what are the essential arithmetrix? Everybody can be utterly brilliant at something, but it doesn't matter whether it's conjuring, cooking, carpentry, or even kissing. You have to start at the bottom and get to grips with the bare essentials. Anyway, so I got these for math living books to just insert kind of into their reading list at the appropriate time. No one's actually read them yet, so I actually was just thinking I'm probably going to do this one over the summer with my oldest. I think these will be really quick reads. I'm thinking, I mean, he'll probably read this in a week. He's 12, but you know how fast your kids read. But this one is they're only about 170 pages, and there's lots of pictures and things in them, so it's not really a full 170 pages. But so yeah, cool, huh? I thought that was a cool idea. I've got my number stories book 2 stored over there because my book 1 is over on my other shelf with my kindergartner's current books that he's using. And then I bought this one. This one, The Phantom Toll Booth, was also on, there's a clock right there, was also on living math book lists that I was researching. Like there's like some kind of map at the beginning. There's like the Sea of Knowledge, the Valley of Sound, Mountains of Ignorance, Digitopolis, Dictionopolis, Foothills of Confusion. Sounds funny. They're in the Kingdom of Wisdom. I think this is, I'm going to have my 7-year-old read this summer. Chapter 1. There was once a boy named Milo who didn't know what to do with himself, not just sometimes, but always. When he was in school, he longed to be out. When he was out, he longed to be in. On the way, he thought about coming home, and coming home, he thought about going. It's a cute opening, isn't it? Anyway, so another living math book. Oh, I just got textbooks. Let me show you. Okay, so I've got, I've got some Saxon by 4. What's this one? 6-5. I think I've got 7-6 up there. And these are ones that my oldest has used. I've been talking about it recently. It just hasn't been going the best. And I don't know if it's really a reflection on Saxon or if it's really just my kid not doing his schoolwork. And the approach I was taking of kind of like the on the day-to-day basis, the honor system, basically like trusting that he was doing it and that what he was telling me was actually happening. So if you have that kind of system, especially if you just have like older kids and you just feel like they should be able just to do their math, correct it, and honestly tell you what the score was and like be willing to do the work and do the corrections, if that's not working out, I'd highly recommend mymathassistant.com, the website, so that they have to enter their work in and have it checked. And don't give them the key so they can't, don't give them the solutions manual or anything. Make them do it through that to keep them honest so that you can check it. And somebody who watched one of my previous videos said that she has my math assistant set up so that her son cannot progress onto the next lesson until he's passed the current lesson. So if it's an issue, it's very, very affordable. It's only I want to say it was only maybe $5 a month or something for the subscription. And you pick which book. They don't have every single edition in there, but they have an array of editions. So I don't know if you can tell what they are before you sign up, because I just signed up. But I knew that I had for this book, this is a first edition, and they had the second edition, school version. And they definitely had like the homeschool editions, but they didn't have the first edition in there. So I was like, I don't know, try to buy what they have in there if you're going to use that website. But they did have a ton of them. I just ran across it. They didn't have a first edition, so I wasn't sure if it was going to match totally correctly with the problems in here. Anyways, Saxon, it's an RC recommendation and a staple in the homeschool community. So we've tried it out, and I'm making changes based on my students' need. Nothing against Saxon, but my oldest, the one who I am trying to troubleshoot with math right now, he went to public school through 3rd grade. Well, the pandemic, they like pulled him out of school. You know how they messed everybody up. And I just kept him home after that. And once I started homeschooling him, I started realizing how many holes in his education there were. He still wasn't understanding foundational like number sense concepts. He just never got that at school. I think it's more of a foundational issue, not a Saxon issue. You know what I mean? Okay, so we are changing over to Right Start Math. So there's a teacher, like a lesson book, and then there are workbooks for the kids to fill out. And this is really hands-on. I've talked about it recently in other videos. I think I have lessons I have levels A through D right now, and I just ordered level E. It hasn't come yet though. It hurt me. I had to order it straight. I couldn't find a used one that wasn't basically just as much as a brand new one. And I was like, oh gosh, it hurts to have to like, I bought just like, because I wanted the most recent edition. It hurt to pay full price. I'm going to tell you, I felt a little bit sick about it. I'm not a full price gal, okay? Anyways, so usually I just buy a used lesson book, which are usually in pretty good shape because it's just been, right? Usually somebody's mom has had possession of this. And then I do buy from their website. I do like to buy the e-worksheets instead of a consumable, because for $10 more, so it was like $23 to buy this pre-printed or whatever, a consumable version. It was $10 more, $33 to buy the printables. So if all 3 of my kids use this printable, then it's really only like $11 per worksheet right? And the more kids you have, the more affordable it becomes. So I just printed it at home and bound it myself with my cone binder, and we're ready for business. I've only used this with level B. I've been using it with William, and it's going great. It's a little bit easy for him right now, but you know, we're transitioning over from we've just been working on math facts and stuff. But I'm just kind of going through it. We do a couple lessons a day. We can get through 2 or 3 lessons a day because the lessons are quite short. But I want him to just get used to how the program works and all the manipulatives that you use with the program. So let me show you some of those right now. Okay, there's a lot. All right, so it comes with a scale. It's so long, you can't even see it all on camera like that. And so, like recently, we used that one. It has these little weights that hang on it. Let me grab them. And they're all the same weight. But like they were doing this because they're trying to partition stuff. They'd say put one weight on 10, right? It goes down. And then figure out, like, if we gave 2 weights for the other side, like balance the weight. So what you basically figured out is, you know, anything that equals, let's say 2 5, so 10 would balance the scale. So he thought that was fun. So we did all the 7 and 3, 6 and 4, 8 and 2, all that stuff. I don't know what we're going to use it for next, but that's what we've used it for so far. A ton of packs of cards for different card games. Came with a little calculator, and I bought my manipulative set used too. This is place value cards. So they do a lot of work with the abacus, and you'll use like place value cards where they go with it, like build numbers. It didn't come with these, but it does want them, as part of the program, they want to learn like the days of the week and like the months of the year. I had already had this set of months of the year cards, so I've just been using these. I wrote what number of the month is on the back, and sometimes I mix them up, and I've been having him just put them in order, and that's part of like his warm-up right now. I bought these off of Etsy, and they're really cute, and I'll link them down below for you. Anyway, so yeah, I have this little basket. I just keep all the manipulatives right now that we're using the most often. So I also have in there, I have a bunch of dice. These came with my Shut the Box game, but I just use them for all types of math games. So the stuff that we use most often, I keep in a little basket on the shelf too. Let me show you a few more of their manipulatives because they're fun. So it came with 2 abacus like this. You use them this way. So they have their own kind of special way to use these. It's kind of different than the way I had learned to use abacus and the way I taught my kids to use just the standard abacus that we use, but it's the same concept. It's just they have you start on the top and they have you clear. They want things clear to the right, whereas I'd always taught like being cleared was this way. But just tell them they want you to do it this way, and I would teach them, if your kids already know how to use the abacus, I would teach them the way that they want to, because they have pictures in the book and stuff, and I said if they want it to look like this, oh, you'll want their answers to match up with the book. So abacus. We haven't used these boards yet. It kind of looks like a clock. There's 2 of them, but these it comes with a bunch of rubber bands, and so I'm assuming we're gonna make shapes or angles or something on here at some point. It came with a couple clocks because they're going to work on time. Tally sticks. They're just popsicle sticks, which is something I've used already before with them. Tiles. I think these are called Geo something or another. I think they'll use these to make 3-dimensional shapes. I haven't used these yet, but they're like centimeter cubes. More cards. I don't know. There's like angles in there. Protractor or compass. Here's the rubber bands. Here's some shapes. Oh, there's just a ton of stuff. Oh, it did come with like money, you know, like coins. I just added it to, I already had some funny money and stuff like that, but I bought, so I just added it all together. I like it came with these 3-dimensional shapes. Some rulers. This is fun. It's like, the kids will like this, I already know. It's like collapsible yardstick. Oh, I don't know if it's a yard or a meter. I don't know what this is, but this came with it. Some other manipulatives that I just already had. I had these number rods, which we've used a lot. I really like these. I've used these a lot with my youngest in like preschool, and now we're starting kindergarten, but I love to make numbers and stuff with these for him. And then like before that, I had the linked cubes. See, I already had popsicle sticks because I would do tally marks with the popsicle sticks to count things with him. So I already had that. The use that I bought was missing there was like a fractions thing, but I basically already had the same thing. I had the circle and tiles, this magnetic set that I already had. There's the pieces. Which I think is basically it covers what was missing from the thing. But yeah, I like this set. We actually used this a bit. I remember my oldest son using this, learning fractions. Okay, let's do some more math stuff. Oh, and I have the Right Start. They have a game. Like if you can buy this separately. If you just want to buy the book on their math games and just start doing the math games, you can just do that. But I think you'll need to buy their card set. So I have all these card sets that came with it too. But yeah, you can find those on their site, or you can find them used. Like people will have just this book and like the card sets on eBay and stuff. You can find them. I do have the Shut the Box game. That's just something we like to have out. It's nice just to have it, just to keep, you know, quick on our like addition, a quick facts. And it's just a fun game to play. I like it. And I have this Sumology, which is kind of like Scrabble, but with math. You're like building equations. And so we have that in there. We've played that. it's kind of nice. Some days you're just like let's just have a game day, you know, or you just say in between. Sometimes you're working with one kid and you've got like two kids that are kind of like waiting on you for something, and I'm like, okay, go play Shut the Box or go play Sumology. I also have like a big bag of puzzles, and I'm like, go do a puzzle. Like Bo, so he's 5, he gets told to do a puzzle probably every other day. At some point he's like, wait, he's done with something, he's waiting. He starts getting like bugging me when I'm not quite done, maybe listening, doing a reading lesson with William, wanting something, or you know, I'm like, okay, go get a puzzle please. I just tell him that your next assignment is a puzzle. It's puzzle time. So just have him do that. Okay, here's a few more fun things. Okay, so I have this also. Another thing I have that I kind of consider math-ish, I don't know, is the that I keep over here is my color origami Botanica book. So it's origami, but you color, it's got like you color it in. So again, sometimes the kids want something to do, they're kind of waiting, and I'll say go pick something out of the origami book. Like, so here's one that William made, a grasshopper. So he colored it. Kind of hard to get the legs to go down, but I stapled it at the bottom so it stayed together. So that's a fun one. I'll try to find that. I'll link that down for you below too, because this one's kind of fun. I do have this little corduroy shapes book, and that's just so that I used it like with Bo to teach him his shapes. Actually, I think maybe William too. So yeah, I still have this one on the shelf, just so down low, so Bo can grab it and look at it if you want. Also, like when other little kids come over to visit, it's nice to have a board book to let them look at, so they don't like rip up your books. Okay, so then I also have these bedtime math. I think there's actually 3 of these books, but I have 2. And this was also something recommended by another RC parent. I mean, we don't do them at bedtime. But I keep them down, kind of the same thing as the Mammoth Math, just so the kids can grab them and look at them anytime. And you know, sometimes like we'll get in here in the morning, and we always start our day with our Bible time together as a family subject. But let's say somebody, like, it's usually me and Will and Bo are in here, and my oldest is like dragging to get up and get ready and get himself into the schoolroom. And so this might be something that I just grab and read to. I'm like, come over here, I'll read to you about chapter 1, exploding food. And it just gives like some fun facts about that are kind of some fun facts that like have numbers in them. So hot, hot, hot. This one. And this one's telling them about the scores for hotness of like peppers. So this is that the jalapeno scores a 3,500 and Tabasco sauce scores 35,000. How many times hotter than the jalapeno is Tabasco sauce? It's got little like math problems in there. And they're fun. They just get them thinking, and they're fun. And they like the pictures in them and stuff. So I have 2 of those, and I'll link those for you. Those are fun. And you can usually find these used because they've been around and people have used them, and then their kids grow out of them, and then they sell them, and then you get them for way cheaper. So I also have a traditional abacus. I've actually got 2 of them over there, and my abacus flashcards. And this is, I taught the kids how to use the abacus, and it really helps, I think, conceptualize those concepts of what, like division, what multiplication, adding, subtracting, like what's it's actually doing. And it introduces them to place value. So I've got those over there. So it'll have like, you know, the problem on the front, and then it'll have the answer on the back. And they can see if their abacus looks like that. So I have these flashcards and these over there as well. And so I use that. So I use that right now with my kindergartner a little bit. And then I've got a jar of these little vase gems, which I have talked about them before, but they're my favorite math manipulative for littles, like when you're first starting out. And we still use them all the time. Like I use these almost every day. But I had a red set and a blue set. I think I got the red ones at Walmart and these ones at the Dollar Tree. But yeah, I like that they're flat because they don't roll away. But we've used those for tons of games. And then like I did a prep video where I was making all of these. These come with my copybooks, my first copybooks. And one of the printables that comes with that is I made these game cards for playing memory. So 7 minus 1, right? And then it'll have other cards that have the answers. And you flip them all over, you just play memory, you try to find the matching equation. Then I have them just put together. So 7 minus 1 equals, when they get it, 6. And then I'll have to, like, sometimes I'll have to write it down, we'll like record it or whatever, but you know, whoever has the most matches wins at the end. So these are the minus ones, these are the plus ones. And so we're playing that as part of my youngest son's math right now. It's one of the activities we do. And he loves playing this game, but I just put all the plus 1 and minus 1 cards in one envelope, and I did it all the way through plus 10, minus 10. And then I just have my funny money that also, this was also printable that came with my first copybook. So I just printed the funny money on cardstock. And when we're working through Number Stories Book 1, so I can get those because they do introduce them to money as well in those books. So yeah, that's just all prepped out and ready for me to grab when I need it. So this is not math related, but these are just other books that are on that shelf, just because I ran out of room on my like normal like reading shelf. So some stuff got stuck over there. So I thought I would just show you because it's stuff that we have in our home library. So we have the Frog and Toad collection. I have to show you the cutest thing. My mom gave me those little books, those like little first readers. Look what she made me. It's the cutest thing. So my mom's a knitter and she knitted me Frog and Toad. They're so cute. I can't stand it. And they have clothes. The kids are like the kids always take their clothes off. Why do kids always do that? I'm always like, put their clothes back on. But that was such a cute idea. She knitted the characters and she mailed them to us with Frog and Toad. Like my first readers. Frog and Toad are friends. Frog and Toad all year, and Frog and Toad together. This is reading 2 with help. Yeah, so yeah, William definitely read these already, and they are waiting for Bo. You know, when he can read these, and with his little Frog and Toad friend. Here's something else cool I found. These are at a thrift store. I don't know if you can tell, but they're like, I don't know if this is leather or fake leather, but they're this like embossed like knight or something. There's a castle in the background. There's 2 of them. They're called Book Trails on the High Road to Adventure and Book Trails to Enchanted Lands. And inside, I found these at a thrift store or like an antique store like a long time ago. So the Feast of Lanterns. So I just had all, again, just stories that you can just read to your kids or they can read to themselves. And I just picked these up because they were so cute. And yeah, look, I think I paid $6 a piece for them. It says copyright is 1928. The cuckoo keeps silent in winter. Another pretty picture. And so like, I am such a sucker for vintage children's books. Like I just love them. And so I keep these down there. And I have read these to the kids. Somebody also got this at an antique store. Mother Goose. And it's like a really large book. Look at it next to my head. I definitely have taped some of it, like too. It has some rips. It's been loved, but it's just Mother Goose stories. I don't let the kids get this one down by themselves. Like I'll get it if they want to see it. I get it down and I turn the pages. Mike, I don't know about your kids, but like, especially my oldest, he has this habit of turning the pages, like he grabs it from the inside, and I'm always like, don't, you have to turn it from the outside corner because it'll rip. You know, if you turn it, it's too much leverage on the paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I caught a hare alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I let her go again. So really cute. So, just another vintage book I liked. The copyright on this one is 1922. That's in here. It's beautiful. I like to see it. It makes me happy. Okay, so I love like actual real old books, but I have to show you something new I just bought. And this was an Instagram made me buy it. I saw something on Instagram. Somebody was showing this book, The Complete Brambley Hedge. And I bought this, I want to say this was like $20, which I usually wouldn't pay $20. It was a total impulse buy. It's got spring story, summer story, autumn story, winter story, the secret staircase, the high hills, sea story, and Poppy's babies, which I just thought this would be perfect to go along with our science curriculum for my 5-year-old, for my kindergartner. We're doing the Berenstain Bears Big Book of Science, but it's all about like nature and seasons and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's like perfect. It has specific stories about the seasons. And it looks a lot like Beatrix Potter, like the look of it. But it looks like I really like the Peter Rabbit stories, but I'm not like a super big fan of all of Beatrix Potter's stories. I think she was a better illustrator than a writer, you know? But this is more about the writing, but the illustrations are still, look at that. Look at all the stuff in there. I love when like an illustration like this has so much to look at. And it's like, look, it's good sized. So yeah, when I am, right now, Bo and I are working through reading, where is it? I'll show it to you. So right now for our kindergarten curriculum, we are working through, I'm reading him these stories, Fairy Tales and Fables. And I've showed this book before, I love it. And it's working perfectly for what I'm using it for. This is where we left off. We just read about the shoemaker and the elves. I think I might read that one more time with him. I typically will reread, just to talk about reading with school. I will typically read this to my kindergartner, the same story, because I always ask him to basically tell it back to me. Like, what was the story about? Tell me what the story was. You know, he'll kind of tell me back in his own words, which is funny because the things that he adds on are pretty funny, or like that he just kind of skips over. But it is a fun exercise, and he draws a picture and for me about it. And I usually will like put this up on his book stand so you can see the illustrations that were in it while he does his work. But they're just the right size, but they're pretty short. So right now, I mean, I think I've already read that elf story to him twice. I think I'm gonna read it again next time. And I move on to the next story when he can basically tell me back the story pretty completely. That I'm like, okay, he gets it, you know? So we have this much left to go. And I think after that, this will be the next book I read to him. And this one has those great illustrations, but the reading, it's like ongoing more, you know? Oh, look at this, it's the underground. I love those cross-section type pictures. So yeah, I think I'm excited to read it and go through it with him. But yeah, this is gonna be next on our kindergarten curriculum. Okay, all right, well, I think that's what I'm gonna show you for today. I'll stop there, and I'll try to link as much stuff as I showed you in the description box in case you wanna take a look at it. And besides that, I'll talk to you soon.